Gonna have some excitement this week, not a boring week. Hopefully we're gonna have some excitement. What I'm looking at, the last push for the DXY. Around these areas. That was an ABC right here. That would make this one the following all the way up here to these areas if you're going by structural shape. But as I keep on mentioning during the week, our weekly webbies, what I look at is, if I'm not mistaken, oh yeah, it's right here, load chart, trading, which is the following. This leg goes with this leg, it's all colored. So what I'm expecting right here, I'm expecting a drop. Same thing as we're expecting here. We're expecting that that's an A, that's a B, and that's a C. If you place your measurements, at least still up here. So now what were we expecting? We're expecting the same thing. Sorry. We're expecting the same play that still up here. This one is the following, apologies. ABC. Still up here, but it didn't go, it stopped right there and dropped. And this one, that's what I'm expecting, this one to stop right here and drop. But every setup, every trading situation is different from the other, right? So we have to keep that in mind. So let's go back to our chart. So I'm expecting it to go up, but I'm not gonna buy, I'm not gonna sell the euro, I'm not gonna sell the pound. I'll be looking for short the XY. Before I get the setup, I'm not gonna touch it. The past 2 weeks, if you're not in the pound, you're just burning out money. So I expect this to drop. Why? If you look at indices, I did the analysis for the website on the indices from last week. I'm expecting this to come down here, retest this area, and continue its way up. Where I take this one as an impulse, that's the one, or /A, because we're moving up as a WXY on the higher time frame, higher view, and I'm expecting this to be the B /2. So I'm expecting it to retest this area, which is a bit shorter. If we break this area and hold, then the analysis would be totally different, as long as we're not breaking this area that I indicated. But as long as we're holding above here, I still see that the XY is going to drop from where we are. So I'm expecting a weak DXY for the upcoming week. If you don't mind, guys, if you can turn off your mics, I would appreciate that. Thank you so much. So US 30, the same thing. If you do the measurements, if that's a WXY, it's right where we want it, as long as we don't break this area. Same for goes for the rest of them. There's still one more up and one more up on this one, or even on these indices. I'm looking around these areas, right? So to push one more high. S30, push, retest this top, break it before any other drop, if we're gonna have a drop. So goes for the DAX and UK. If you can see it, that's been marked from all the way down here. This spot, that's where, if we need to have another crash, we must hit that top according to the measurements and the fib and all of this stuff. So I still see one more push up. So if that's the case, that means the XY gonna have one more drop. Is it gonna come up here and drop? If they have enough sellers, if they have enough stops up there, and on the euro, the pound, and other majors, they will push it up there. If there's none, if they cleared the board in any way, maybe they will have a fake and reverse. Very simple. On lower time frame, there's some heavy news this week by Wednesday, so we might have a fake up and reverse, or continue to drop straight by Wednesday, Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. I think on Wednesday. And NFP this week is not on Friday, it's on Thursday, so be careful with your trades. The euro, go back to the higher time frame. We're not doing weekly analysis. I still see it heading up. So now this setup, if you do the measurements like everybody does, structurally we have to come down here, right? But if they got enough people that's already in cells, they might just spike it, trigger it, and reverse. So I will be watching this area for the up move. There's different scenarios, different ways we look at it. And keep in mind, you're not the only one that's looking at these setups, right? Everybody's watching it. Same thing, I'll give an example. That's how they play hidden setups. For this one, I'm looking for it to break the low here around these areas. I don't think it will go down there. It's gonna be around these areas and then continue going up. There's a way to measure where this is gonna stop. If you are interested in learning it, hit our chat or text me. More than happy to explain it and show you the exact way how to measure and know where this is gonna stop. I still, as I said, spike and reverse. I'm looking for buys. Swiss, I said it in the last webby, I take this leg with this leg. If you place your fibs, it should stop up here. It did an ABC and an impulse, and now it's doing a short ABC. Is it gonna push up? Structurally, that's what it's indicating. But if you do the correlation, this might do a fake out and continue its heading down. So how do you trade that? You choose the best setup that fits your criteria, that's clear to you, and it has good risk to reward. and you trade it. You should have a setup that's been tested and you know that it will work. Whenever the setup is there, you take it. You can't have them all, right? For the UCAD, I did a mistake during the week. I was long and I closed. If you look at the 15-minute, I explained it in my hallmark setup chat. If you see this setup that we are here, why this reversed over here and why I took a long, then I looked at it in a different way and I closed my short looking for I closed my long and was looking for shorts where I missed all of this trade, which I got it from down here. Anyways, so let me explain this setup. That's how the market is moving. It is like that and like that, and these two go along. So there's a way to measure that, where this is gonna stop. It stopped right where we wanted it. If you look at the bigger picture on the 2 hour, it's not clear on the 2 hour. On the 1 hour, it is the following. That was following, then this was another ABC, then that's an ABC, sorry, then that's an ABC, and that's C. No, let me clear it better. There you go, because there's an ABC right here for the B, and then that would make this whole thing as a W, an X, and a Y, which would make this whole move as a W, an X, and a Y. Let me change the color for blue. No, like that. Exactly. Where this one is another W, where the Y, X, and Y, change it to a lower degree, like that. Hopefully one day you guys can chart in this form. That would be clearer. Exactly. W, X, and Y, and we're heading up. Now, after clearing that out, what do we have? We got the WXY, that's an impulse. Then we got the WXY right here. After an impulse and end of a correction, what do we have? We have another impulse. So we got 5 ways right here on a shorter time frame. So how do we measure that? That's simple Elliott wave stuff, nothing complicated. That correction is the complication one. Where are we heading? We're heading up here. If you want to combine correlation, if you move to another pair It's on the website from last week. It was down here. We're heading up there. So where we're heading? We're heading up. So what do we look for? Buy setups. Mistake I did. I knew it was heading up, but I saw something different in the mid of week. Something that I saw that they were trying to trap some liquidity. I saw some liquidity down here. So I was trying to trade the short to grab that liquidity, then head back up, but they just continued heading up. It was a break-even trade, and I missed this because I got it from down here, assuming that it will head up. But hey, you can't win them all. So for this week, we're still heading up. Buy setup all the way up here. So any fake out, any quick moves you see on the 15 minute, 30 minutes towards the bear, look for a buy setup and take it. You got to think how they're thinking, right? They're heading for the stop losses, trying to trap the stop losses, collecting the liquidity, right? So like you can see here on the 1 hour, right here, look how many times they hit. Nice drop, and then went back up, hit it. So according to, I don't want to say many setups, but one of the setups that most retail traders trade is collecting liquidity and continuation for the downtrend, right? That's an impulse, went up, collect liquidity, and then a drop. And that's what they did. They went up, collect liquidity, they gave them the drop and continued back up. Same thing for this one right here. This one, if you measure it, this leg goes with this leg. This leg, that's the impulse, goes with this leg, that's the impulse. And then continuation for the option. I traded this leg because it was the last hours on Friday. I took profit around these areas. As long as you know which legs are playing out and how they're trapping and what they're collecting, it's all good. So buy setup all the way up there. On the Aussie, structurally, as I said, I'm seeing it down, but according to the indices, there's no more space for it to go down. If it breaks that stage, which we have to change the whole count. We have to change that. Means the XY is gonna go stronger, it's gonna go up higher. So by midweek we should have a clearer view of where we're going. But for what we have in our hands, this is going down. Five, correction maybe, and drop. But still, for my end, I will not take the drop unless the indices show that we're gonna have the drop, right? It's all correlated. You just gotta watch and see the best setup that's available out there. Same thing for the NU drop. Yen pairs, that was indicated, that was a trade that was indicated on the website. Hopefully you guys got it, that are members, for the uptrend, and I still see this is heading up, right? So, but watch this stop here. Maybe they're gonna fake it and continue going down because of these setups. This is a setup that a lot of traders would buy over here. A lot of traders would buy over here. Either they're gonna come down, collect these buys and move up, or I explained it, I think, in the middle of the week, that on any sell setup you get, sell it, because this might head all the way down here. But for the time being, that's what we have. A lot of traders are buying around these areas. This might continue, this might be a setup right here till up here and then drop. But I would only look for sells for what we have in the yen pairs, especially this one. A lot of buyers are up here. This is heading all the way down. But keep in mind, we don't move in a straight line, right? Because that's an ABC right here. That's a WXY. Let me show you on lower time frame. Which is the following. Where that's a W, that's an X, that's a Y. If you measure these ones, that's another setup right here, a WXY. If you measure these ones, they fit exactly the fibs that I teach you guys. So that's been said, when you have these kind of setups, that's a trapping setup. It looks impulsive, but it's not. This leg goes with this leg. So we're heading down. We might have a fake out, come down, collect the liquidity, and head back up. If the indices are heading up, I repeat, watch the indices. They are the key for all of this. So you gotta know how to correlate stuff. Euro, pound. I'm looking for this to head around these areas. Then we're gonna have this leg with this leg, and then continuation for the uptrend. That whole thing is a correction right here. EA, we might have a fake out and continuation for the downtrend. What do I mean by a fake out? Up here, if you do the measurements for this leg and this leg, this is one setup. This leg and this leg, it will stop around these areas. I think if there's a setup, institutional setup on the 2 hour, if I'm not mistaken, it's part of my teachings, and you sell it. Sorry guys, I'm working with one screen on Sundays. I only have one screen in front of me because I'm at the cottage. So I will answer you guys after the session. This one, it's heading down. When we see this, we might have all the way down here. So on any pull, on lower time frames or anything that indicates for a sell it. XAU, that's an ABC right here. We might come up here, test the 1-800. I'm not buying, I'm looking for a sell. So test for the 1-800 and then drop. We've been looking at these setups. If you're following the website, every leg is indicated on the 4 hour, every week by week. So hopefully you guys are benefiting from it. It's in a consolidation. So you might have collect liquidity. There's liquidity up here. Collect the liquidity, then drop for the C before we have any major move up. Same thing for gold. You must have that drop, and that's what we're looking at. This one, it's not ready to go up or down unless if you're trading on the 15-minute or 10 minutes, which I don't suggest you do that on commodities. Commodities, you open a trade 1 week, 2 weeks, So you hold your trade, right? You don't intraday trading on the commodities. This one, if it breaks, there's a buy setup, institutional buy setup around these areas. If it breaks it, we're heading for a major correction. Let's go back to the 4 hour. We're heading for, if it breaks that, we're heading for a major correction for this trend. So we're watching these areas. If it breaks this area, that means we're heading down. If it respects this area, we're heading up. I went through that. Basically, that's what it is. So guys, hopefully you're benefiting from this stuff. Just 1 second. Hopefully you're benefiting from this stuff. AU. If you got any questions, you want me to check anything, we still have 3 minutes. Please feel free to, I'm looking at the chat. More than welcome, Michael, more than welcome. Copy. If AU is heading down and EA is heading down, if you look at EA, as I said, a fake out. That's a fake out heading up here. AU, that's heading down here. So down move, up move. So they're correlating. So if Euro and Aussie are weak, you're not gonna have a major move here. So you trade the AU. Then EU should not be a buy too. Well, yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. If the Aussie is weak and the Euro is weak, you don't trade EA, Euro against the Aussie. You trade the AU, Aussie against USD, and the Euro against USD. So if you do the measurements, this should be heading down here. Structure you're talking. I will not be selling it. Anything else, guys? You're more than welcome, and have a great week. Trade safe.